Sedena for Ageless Living. This is part 3 of Aging in Our Time. So in the earlier parts of this conversation, I was talking about the prejudice of ageism, the way it shows up and affects all of us in our world today. And in this last part 3, I'm going to talk about just some of the expansive gifts that come with aging and some ideas about ways to access those gifts in our lives. It's interesting that psychologists tell us that aging is a gateway for greater expansion, simply another developmental phase of life. Like all other phases, it has its bodily changes and more. The human species lives long beyond its reproductive years, and unlike other animals, we continue to develop during our entire time of existence. So it makes sense to recognize this as a gift, right? The fact that we continue to develop in the years and decades that follow middle age. So as we are living longer, new growth and expansion are states we can anticipate. We are not cut off from our expansion unless we position ourselves that way. And that's what I think is happening. Can we stop throwing stones at someone who's aging? Stop trying to be less than we can be, dividing ourselves from ourselves, and instead see the beauty and seasoned wisdom of our elder years. It's the one thing we have in common, can be the one thing that brings us together. Can we just celebrate our humanity, all the differences? There's a crisis of ageism in our world, and just like all other prejudice, it divides and marginalizes, discounts, and ignores those who are aging. Now, studies have shown that among abused children, there is no greater abuse than being ignored. And you must admit there is a kind of silence that permeates our culture when age is mentioned. Just look at the scourge of age that Biden was literally attacked for, and still is. And yet, who wants to stop living at youth? We all want to fulfill our purpose here, and that takes time. In our culture, where youth is adored and lifted to exalted heights and pedestaled as a proud goal to reach, if you're older, you are at times an outcast. You are judged as a risk to our consumer-driven society, disposable, a non-producer in the midst of constant progress. So it is really up to us to change this perception. I honor this older stage of my life in a different way than the others. This chunk of my life requires more focused attention to self-care and reflection, to consciousness of my personal biology, which I know is what actually determines my biological age, not a number. There's a richness of understanding and a warmth of being that I carry now that I didn't before, and many of my friends feel this way too. I hope you do too. Like any time of our life, our older years bring opportunities to release what came before and then open to new possibilities and our true purpose. And we can grow during this sacred time of life if we're blessed to have it, and then share our incomparable gifts and talents with the world so desperately in need of them. So we will release our joy in living, our purpose and meaning, and the limitless possibilities to support and inspire others when we stop thinking of aging as a predicament, a disaster, whatever, and identify it as our powerful ally, ushering in this momentous time of life that we never had before, if we celebrate it. So please come and celebrate with me, wherever you are. This is obviously a very passionate subject for me. I really think this subject, this ageism, the scarlet letter of our time, is keeping us from evolving. It's very important. So I'd really like to hear your comments. Whenever you can, please make a comment and let me know how you feel. Thank you.